Hi friends, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about solving equations with decimals. Solving equations with decimals. I don't know about you, but I don't really like decimals. I like whole numbers. It's so much easier to deal with. So keep that in mind when you're solving an equation. We can actually get rid of those decimals. Here's what you've got to do. Take a look at this example here, and you better grab your notebooks and write these example problems down so you can reference them. If you look, we have three chunks here. We got three terms, three chunks here. Now, remember, if a decimal is not shown, this is part of invisible math, the things that we assume. If a decimal is not shown, it is at the end. So this 5 is right here at the end. So we're going to ignore the x here for just a minute and talk just about these numbers. There is one digit behind the decimal, no digits behind the decimal, and two digits behind the decimal. We've got to go with the largest amount, which is 2 digits behind the decimal. What we're going to do is we're going to move this over 2 spots so that we get rid of that decimal. But if I do that to that chunk, I have to do it to these 2 chunks as well. And if I did it 2 times, I've got to do it 2 times here, which will give me 20, plus 2 times here will give me 500x. And now we've gotten rid of those decimals. Another way of viewing this is if we had the original equation here, plus 5x equals 1.52, what we're doing is multiplying each chunk by 100. So if we multiply it by 100, we get 20 plus 500x equals 152. Okay, so from here, now that we've gotten rid of those decimals, we can solve the equation. Remember, when you're doing a two-step equation like this, you want to undo your addition subtraction first, then you're going to undo your multiplication and division. So I see that over here, we're adding a positive 20. So we're going to subtract 20 from both sides. All right, that gives us 500x equals 132. 132. We're going to divide, so we're doing 500 times x. So we're going to divide both sides by 500. And that gives us x equals 132 over 500. Now, we leave our answers in fraction form unless it starts as a decimal. But remember, you've got to reduce those fractions. I look at this and I see, oh, those are both even numbers. So we can cut these guys in half. So if we cut this in half, we get half of 100 is 50, half of 30 is 15, that's 65. Half of 2 is 1, so we get 66. So 132, if we cut that in half, we end up with 66. If we divide 500 in half, we get 250. Oh, looks like they're still even numbers, so we can cut them in half again. Let's give that a shot. Cut this in half, we get 33. Cut this guy in half. A half of 200 is 100 and half of 50 is 25. Think quarters. So we get 125. Now, the only thing that goes into 125 is 5 and 25, and that doesn't go into 33 because the only thing that goes into 33 is 3 and 11. So this is going to be our final answer. We have x equals 33 over 125. Now, I just realized this did start as a decimal, so we are allowed to finish it as a decimal. However, you do want to be careful with this because sometimes the numbers can be kind of wonky. In this case, if we use our calculator to divide these, we end up with 0.264, so 264 thousandths would be your final answer. So you can either leave it as a fraction, or since this is one of the few cases where it started as a decimal, you can leave it as a decimal in your answer. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, let your teacher know. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.